Do you think out of that 20% of the time they spend fighting crime, what sort of percentage of that 20% is actually spent fighting real crime? I mean, like, proper hardcore crime, like burglary, like rapes, like murders, crimes like that.
This video is Lee Anderson going in on the head of organised crime, Gregor McGill, over the shocking fact that only 20% of police time is dealing with crime. Anderson then demands to know how much of that 20% deals with what he calls Twitter crime. He rightly says it's disgraceful, especially when there are murders, muggings and burglaries going unsolved. Proper crimes, as Anderson puts it. And some of these arrests and imprisonments for social media posts are truly frightening. A plaque to commemorate a black guy who was chased by police and died after he fell in a river up in Leeds some decades ago was vandalised. Police reported it as a hate crime, and they said they had multiple detectives on it. I mean, catch them and make them pay for a replacement, but multiple detectives on the vandalised plaque case? It's utterly ridiculous. Yet every time there is a left-wing protest, a Queen Victoria statue in a park, also in Leeds, gets the most vile, anti-British, misogynistic graffiti sprayed all over it. It ends up being the residents who have to clean it up. The same police force doesn't have detectives investigating that as a hate crime. Why aren't both treated equally? The police officers themselves are generally great. I've had mostly great interactions with them. But this new government is scary. I feel like we are becoming more and more authoritarian, like North Korea. It's undeniable now that there is two-tier policing. Well done again, Lee Anderson, for calling this out.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks for coming today. It's really helpful to us. I find the figure 20% of police, police officers spend 20% of their time actually dealing with crime or investigating crime. What was that figure, say, 20 years ago? An estimate?
Well, it's difficult for me to say that because I wasn't a policeman.
Higher?
I think it was, sir, yes. I think it was, yes.
Okay, so that's interesting. I find that absolutely scandalous.
And it's not my figure. It's a figure that I've had a conversation with senior officers about.
That's absolutely fine. So would you say that, the public fully expect our police force to be, achieving a figure of much higher than 20% of actually doing the day job? Yet each day or each passing week, we see new crimes being listed which the police should be investigating, like Twitter crime, social media crime, wolf whistling and things like this. Do you think out of that 20% of the time they actually spend fighting crime, what sort of percentage of that 20% is actually spent fighting real crime? I mean, like, proper hardcore crime, like burglary, like rapes, like murders, crimes like that.
It's difficult to say. So what we do know, of course, is that the amount of cases being referred to us by the police is falling. So that would be, in very crude terms, an indication that less is going into that. And there have been a number of academic articles and articles in the newspapers talking about the fall in referrals and the fall in police investigations in certain cases.
Is that because you think they're spending less time actually investigating crime?
I think it isn't. I want to explain the context of that a little bit more. I think the police have been drawn into areas that they perhaps didn't go into before because there are holes in other parts of the system.